Hi, thank you for joining this performance of Softly as in a Morning Sunrise, episode 3 of season 1 of Intrapology. I'm Leander Street. I'm the creative director and I co-wrote this episode with Sarah Davis Reynolds. I'm just going to give you a quick rundown of what the show is, how to access it, what to expect. You're currently seeing our signature blue screen of death with white integrated captions. Audio descriptions like this are going to be included at various points in the performance. The show isn't fully audio described, but we're getting a bit better with each episode when it comes to accessibility for blind and visually impaired audiences. We also have integrated captions and British Sign Language interpreting for most of the performance. This is a live interactive show. Open intrapology.com/play so that you get the opportunity to interact. Treat this kind of like you were at the live taping of a sitcom. We might take the luxury of taking our time and stopping and starting once in a while to make sure we get a decent recording. Strong language is used throughout this show, as well as discussions of difficult topics such as ableism and transphobia, though these are not portrayed in detail. There are also some sound effects used in the first few minutes that might trigger misophonia in some folks. I know they do for me. This whole experience might be most comfortable if you make the browser window full screen. This webpage is designed to look like the main character's computer. You're watching this video in a panel to the left, and in a panel to the right is an area where you'll get opportunities to interact with the play directly and influence what the main character says and does. To do that, you're just going to tap one of the buttons when they appear on screen, and the action that receives the most votes from the audience is what the main character will do. You can interact on this page, but if you prefer to interact on your phone, you can use the QR code that's on screen now, or just go to intrapology.com/play. There's also going to be some moments where you're invited to briefly share your thoughts on a particular topic. When that happens, just type your response in the text box when it appears, and then tap submit. Thank you for coming and supporting the show. We literally can't do this without people interacting with it, so it really means a lot. All of this has been made possible by a project grant from Arts Council England, and additional technology grants from Innovate UK and Creative UK.
Hey, so I have more questions about the void.
Inquisitive as always.
What was it like when your world broke away from everything else?
Well, it didn't happen only once. Each moment of fragmentation was unique. Sometimes you'd notice something would shift and you'd realize that the world you now occupy isn't the world you once knew. Sometimes it would be subtle, alarmingly so. Millions or even billions of beings could fall away into a fragment world and you wouldn't even notice.
But when most of your house vanished and was replaced by a blue void, you noticed, right? What were you doing when it happened?
However much I may laud your intellectual curiosity, let's not forget where it led to during our last supervision.
I was just asking about the infrastructure over there. It's not my fault. You literally dug a massive hole under your floor.
There is no my fault or your fault. We're entangled beings, each responsible for our own exploits, but never wholly acting alone.
Sure. So what did you do about that hole?
Oh, I covered it with this fantastic rug I got from Marrakesh just after the Great War.
What's that sound?
As it transpires, I've had my music playing this whole time. I hadn't noticed any sounds. But now that you mention it, I think I might perceive a certain...
You don't think that might be the underground layer of the jelly coming apart? Or that massive void in your wall? That fancy-looking home of yours has some serious structural issues. Could you just look to see if the hole is caving in?
Hetty dear, what do you suppose would happen if, to my little world, if I thought about the jelly lair all day? Flying solo for as long as I have, one learns that it's of the utmost importance to stay on solid ground at all times.
Right. But is the jelly still staying solid? That's what I'm asking here.
Indeed. Is jelly a solid or a liquid? Who's to say, really?
A geologist? A physicist? Did you ever have any actual scientists at the institute?
But of course, even socially constructed worlds have physical laws. My ex's partner's spouse's puppy was an expert in the excitation of quantum fields.
Can you just lift up that Berber rug and look in the hole?
Fine. What am I supposed to be looking back down here? It's just a big dark hole. Oh. Really, I don't know what I'm meant to be looking at here.
I'll just open a terminal window from here. There's going to be some way I can connect to your machine. I don't know what kind of advanced alien computer you've got there, but maybe it tracks some information about your local environment. Something's connecting us, and it's got to be underground somewhere.
There you go again. So obsessed with my cables and pipes.
Aha! What's this then? Your network manager is reporting a huge number of faulty connections.
Well, yes, it can't connect to anything anymore, other than field workers' devices on your world.
But something's changed recently. An unidentified user? Could someone have been trying to contact you? Okay, here's the thing. I'm going to trace a vector from your computer to one of the connections, but still works. That still works. Iris, I need something concrete to hold on to here. Some facts, some figures. Tell me, what's in that hole?
Oh, figures. Oh, yes. I saw some doll's legs down there.
Not what I meant. Okay. I'm glad you're doing something.
How about this?
What? I think that actually worked.
Loading. Salutations. A new social factor has been detected. An audience. How avant-garde. The interface you have accessed resembles a dressing table made of holly inlaid with decorative veneers of ebony, purple heart, and sycamore. The original was made by M. Kallenborg Limited for the Omega Workshops in London circa 1919. It has been appropriated from the collections of the Victoria and Albert Museum. The video call interface will be in period-appropriate black and white. Unless something from somewhere, sometime else were to unexpectedly intrude.
I feel different somehow. It's like I can taste something with my feet or smell something with my ears, something that I haven't experienced since my brief sojourn into your world, as if it were pulling on me. Hetty, Hetty, are you still there? Hetty?
You have received an aberrant object. It appears to be televisual correspondence. It shows a person with copper skin marked with non-human appendages, hair that shines and moves like a campfire, and heart-shaped spectacles. These enticing hues of terracotta, saffron, indigo, and mauve do not belong on a screen like this. They belong in the material world, not in the vectors of information transmission.
The face. Paris. Is it really you?
Hi. 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 I don't know if this is working. I don't know if any of these will get to you. I don't know much of anything anymore, honestly. I just know something is changing. Something broke through when I hoped it was you. Don't know what that says about me or us or wherever we are, but anyway. Hi. I hope you're well. I know things are difficult for you, or were, I suppose. I hope they're better than the last time I saw you. How are you?
How am I? I thought I was supposed to be the one asking the questions, Paris. I don't even know if you're actually here. I might just be talking to myself, in which case I'm not. So, no.
I don't know if
Stop,
you're-
Iris.
If you're even gonna get this, or if you have a way of responding, but, well, I'm worried about you. Jen and I were having dinner the other day. We were discussing how much has changed and how much has stayed the same, and how fortunate we are to still have each other throughout everything changing, and, well, it just got me thinking of you. Do you have anyone like that? Do you have anyone in your life that you can share a bowl of soup with? That you could toast a glass with? I know that was me for a while. Have you found that with someone else? And I don't mean the romantic or sexual things or the, partnership in that way. I just mean, is anyone taking care of you, Iris? I know you can take care of yourself. You are so self-sufficient, truly. I know you are focused on your work, and that your work will sustain you, Lord knows how, but I know work does for you what it can't do for everyone. But, Iris, I just hope you're okay. I hope someone is letting you breathe sometimes, is helping you breathe. I hope sometimes someone says, lean on me. I know that's not me. I know that couldn't be me, shouldn't have been me, really. You made that quite clear. My hand wasn't what you wanted to take, and that's fine. I sometimes wonder if I forced my hand in your face a little too much. Wanted to run off on adventures together a little too loudly. I don't understand why you wouldn't just trust me, why you couldn't just dig a little bit deeper. I wasn't asking much, Iris. Just dip a few toes into the water, and we could have swum together. We could have... No, I'm sorry. That's not what this is. I'm not reaching out to unpack what happened. I'm worried about you. Things are good here. In this world. Yeah. Things are good. Anyway, I'm going to run this up the stream, and maybe it can reach you somehow. I don't know if you'll be able to respond, but I hope maybe you can. I hope maybe you'll want to. Maybe we can build a bridge here. Yeah. Okay. All right. You'd think that after writing a dozen of these letters, I'd have found the words by now, but I guess you always did have a way of leaving me speech. Sorry. That was... Cheers, Iris.
I wonder if you have someone. You wonder if somehow the fucking apocalypse that destroyed our world just reversed itself and I found a new paramour. Or found my way back to some of our former pet companions, as you apparently did. You found your way back to the others. How many of the others? And how? How long have I even been here? How long have you been gone? I love you. Please don't call me. Call me. I need you. Do you want to watch Robot Wars? I forgive you. Don't leave. Purple alligators. This hurts too much. Nothing. Yeah, just keep all that stuff. You're not a dick. Wow. You're a great singer. Hi. I think you should shave your beard. Move on. Let's buy a house or anything at all. Let's get married. Yeah. Let's be friends. Lol. Would you still pose for me sometime?
You are wanted on the video phone. Now loading a live video showing a young person with raven hair and pale skin. They are in a decrepit, crumbling environment. All of this is within expected parameters. It is time for your regularly scheduled communication with T.
Oh. Is that the time? Time's still moving. After all of that, I'm supposed to present as a competent, human-shaped being. Right? Well, once again, the same old routine. T, this is not the most opportune time for a supervision.
What's wrong?
Nothing. 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 It's nothing. It's nothing. It's nothing. After everything, it's nothing.
Oh, fuck. Have you been looking at the void?
Void. No. Although, perhaps, yes. They just reached out across the void as if it's nothing. As if the space between us were as small as a single breath.
Wait. Someone was able to contact you from the Institute?
No, that's not... Though, actually, we did meet at the Institute. They used to work near the Immersive Media Laboratory.
Okay, so they did things with computers, and now they've made your computer do something with their computer, and... No. This is something else. Who was this to you?
They're the one that got away. When our world started fragmenting, at first the things we lost didn't cause us much grief. But as time wore on, our losses encroached closer and accumulated. I saw how it weighed on them. Sometimes I thought the only thing I wanted was to see their smile every day. But then there were fewer and fewer smiles. And I realized that nothing could replace everything we'd lost. Everything they'd lost. I could never be enough.
I've never heard you talk about yourself like this.
Oh, it's not that. I'm delightful. But I could never replace a whole world. And now I hear that somehow they've been able to reclaim a world of some sort. I know it's my job to be where I am. That's all any of us are required to do. But if there's a world out there that can be shared with them, even now, how am I ever going to feel okay in this place?
I think I can relate to that.
It's not just frustration about where I am, though. I wish happiness isn't permanent. I really shouldn't still be thinking about them. Their leave destroyed me and allowed me to rebuild my sense of self from nothingness. Didn't we almost have it all? They never leave reports. I miss the smell. Their loss. I don't miss you, but I miss your butt. I wish I'd appreciated them like they appreciated me. Gazing at each other, we were just too young. Glad you're happy. I hope you're okay. I miss your family, and I hope you're sober now. And are they ever still the same person? They'll never meet anyone like me, but I hope I can give my head peace. T? Are you still there? Right. Well. Right. Well, T probably didn't need to see that, but I suppose it might be instructive. And I should take my own advice. There will simply always be something loud and infuriating, calamities driving wedges between us. And there is nothing we can do to change any of it. So why bother? I see they're gone too. Oh. Are they gone too? Everything's fine? Everything's grand. Everything's okay, Iris. You must pull it together. I know it wasn't the plan to hear from them, but that isn't your business, Iris. That isn't... You can't do anything about that. Just focus on what you can do. Something. What's in front of you? Actually, there is one thing we can do. A letter deserves a response. Oh, Paris. Paris, my sweet Paris. I don't like to admit it, but I've dreamed about what I say to you if we could speak again. If we ever found you somewhere amongst all of the layers and the data and void. I don't know if I know where to begin, or if I have the courage to. But I guess that doesn't matter because you've already begun it for us, haven't you? You always were the one to lead the charge. And now I wonder if you found a way to bring us back together. Right. Well, in any case, what a genuine pleasure to hear from you. Though I must admit, quite a disorientating surprise. You'll forgive my delay in responding. Things are simply so busy here at the Transdimensional Research Institute. Why, just last month, we discovered that deep under the ground, there are layers you can dig through. And, oh, the data I found. Why, I'm almost inclined to write a whole monograph on the topic of psychoecology. I may even get special recognition for it, which I know you wouldn't understand, but it's a big deal to some of us. I thought it was terribly kind of you to reach out. Kind of you to figure out you could even reach out, really. I suppose it shouldn't surprise me that you figured it out, Paris. And, well, I'm glad you decided to use that to reach out to me. I know you have plenty of people around you, so it's good to know I still matter to you, even a little bit. How did you reach out? The last time I saw you, I had no idea it would be the final time I'd hear your voice or touch your cheek. I didn't know we were about to be out of time, literally and figuratively. I didn't think I'd ever see you again, Paris. I don't know if it counts as seeing you now, but it's certainly something. A canary call for, well, I don't know what yet. I suppose now that we've established this line of communication, we should ensure that it remains active, you know, for research purposes. The Transdimensional Research Institute wouldn't want a discovery of this magnitude to be ignored, so we must explore it to its furthest reaches, even if it is potentially awkward. So, what do we know? We know that you can send messages and I can receive them. I believe that I can also send messages, and we'll see if you can receive them. We can hypothesize that the multiverse is giving us another chance to talk. Let's set a time and date. I would have suggested the 7th day of the 7th lunar month, as is tradition for this sort of thing, but which moon would we use for reference? I don't even have one here. Shall we simply settle for 3 days from now? I will start the video call, and if you show up, then we will know we can establish communication between our two worlds. If you don't show up, well, I'll assume we can't connect. I mean, or reconnect. Both. Both, I suppose. And if all of this has been in my head, well, what a properly fascinating contribution this will be to the study of psychoecology.
I'm so sick of living with long COVID. I'm so sick of living with the denial, but we have to keep talking about it because at some point there has to be a breakthrough.
It's the one minority that you are one bad day away from being a part of. So be fucking careful how you treat them while you're not part of that community, because that could be you tomorrow.
Well, like, what do you want me to do? Just stay home? No, actually, no, I don't want you to just stay home because I don't want you to live the life that you have relegated other people to, a life of isolation where the world is unsafe for them.
Pride not being accessible is a perfect example of people not giving a shit about disability politics until it personally impacts them. Despite the fact that queer people are overrepresented as having disabilities in this country, because every form of marginalization leads to disability to begin with.
I think a lot of people want, this kind of pandemic chapter to be closed, but it's going to be reopened eventually when more and more people become stable, more and more people cannot function the way they used to.
Comparatively to my hyper-isolation, it is worse to be living a life where the price that you pay is watching those you claim to love absolutely fall apart because you're unwilling to accept the reality of what's happening.
In pieces, that's very reflective of pretty much the entire trans community.
Sex segregation of toilets is inherently unenforceable. It most often leads to masculine presenting cisgender women getting assaulted. And the suggestion of it is just to push trans people out of public life.
It's total exclusion.
And I'm not going to download, but I did think that if I was going to download, here's what would happen. I would piss where I want to piss. And then nothing bad would happen.
You are wanted on the video phone. Now loading live video of Paris, who joins from a lush landscape studded with geodesic domes.
Iris? Iris, are you there? Did we do it? Wow. This is... I can't believe it. Do you know what this means?
Yes, it means you've found a way to reconnect worlds that have fragmented. How intriguing.
No, Iris, that's not what I meant.
You must tell me how you did it. Is it through the video system? Perhaps it's only possible when angles of the multiverse are overlapping in a specific way. I bet Hetty could figure this out.
Iris, I need to have a real conversation.
Have you contacted anyone else yet to have access to the full video network? Everyone at the Institute, the whole complement.
Iris, stop. If I answer your questions, can we have an actual conversation afterwards?
I can't say I understand your meaning. Answering questions is an actual conversation. We've stumbled on something incredible here. I don't know if you quite comprehend the gravity of what you've done.
Iris, it's good to see you.
It's good to see you too, Paris.
Answering questions is an actual conversation. Can we have a real one? Answer the hard questions, I mean. For each research-focused question you ask, I get to ask a personal one.
Fine, but I shall go first. I do promise we'll get to yours, though.
Thank you, Iris. This is important to me.
Right. Well, let's just start with the big one. Your letter. How did you do that?
The first video? I honestly didn't know if it would work. There was an eruption. It was like an earthquake. The whole ground shook and the sky turned wavy, as if some force of energy had been released. And then something felt different, thinner, like a veil had been lifted. Started hearing things, snippets of conversation, languages, ones I hadn't even heard before. I felt waves of emotion, as if they were coming from someone or somewhere else.
Emotions? What sorts of emotions?
One question, Iris. Anyways, I can't explain it. I knew something had shifted. I didn't know how I knew it or what to do with that knowledge, but I had to try to take advantage of it.
So what happened to the sky? Is it still wavy?
Iris, did you know?
About the wavy sky?
No, not about the sky. Did you know that you were pushing me away? That you even could? Did you break our world intentionally?
No. I don't know what you mean. Of course I didn't. Trust me, If I'd have known what would happen, I would never have let you go. I would have done anything to keep you happy. Anything for even one more day with you. One more smile.
Then why wouldn't you listen? Why wouldn't you try? I kept telling you we were in danger, that everything was collapsing around us, and that if we didn't pay attention, we were going to collapse too, and you just couldn't listen, couldn't care.
Yes. Well, you still haven't fully answered my question how you sent the letter. Do you still have access to the Institute's communications?
World fragmented, Iris. I lost you, but I didn't lose everything. My connection to the Institute is similar in some ways to before. There aren't many of us, but we formed a lab together. We don't have field workers or students, and we're out of practice taking on the roles of supervisor or teacher. We're exploring the neural side effects fragmentation can cause to see if there's a threshold that can cause permanent damage. It's really quite fascinating, actually.
And is there permanent damage? I mean,
I don't know. Is there? Can we heal it?
can we heal irreversible, permanent neural damage caused by excessive fragmentation? Well, I'm no neuroscientist, but I would think that if we're reaching the point where damage spots are showing up on medical scans, then I would imagine that...
No. I mean, can we heal us?
T. Positionality, white non-binary person. Location, Earth. Hair, black and lavender wig. Apparel _ colors, black. Aesthetic, chaotic goth.
And then he said, the problem is this woke society. He actually said it. He saw this face and thought, oh yeah, this will go down a treat.
Yeah, that's terrible.
So I was like, my guy, do you even know what the opposite of woke is?
T, I might have figured out something huge.
Okay, I really have to get out of here.
That's the thing. I think I know why we can't get out.
Look, it's just for now. I'll be able to move out soon.
No, I don't mean your house or this town or even this rainy fascist island. I mean how we can get free from the world, the whole world.
Well, like, you can go to another world, but if it's not your world, it just falls apart. Or I guess maybe the world might stay together and you fall apart. It's all... how to describe it? Noodly.
Entangled.
Noodly woodly.
No, listen. This is the thing. Iris wanted to know why our world has stayed together while every other world has fallen apart. When you don't share the same worldview as other people, you're not supposed to be able to hold a world together anymore.
Right, but here we are sharing a world of Daily Mail readers.
It's because of the dialectic!
Diuretic?
No, the dialectic.
Do you mean dyslexic?
No, dialectic.
Nicks, like Lyme disease.
No, it's right. So you're you and I'm me, right?
Allegedly.
And I exist in your mind and you exist in mine.
Aww, Eddie.
But it's not just that. You are you in part because I am me. And the way you exist responds to the way I figure your existence in my mind.
Okay.
We both have the space to be who we are because we make that space for one another in our minds. But we don't just have infinite space to be who we are. We know ourselves because of the feeling we get when we hit the limitations of how other people view us. There's a massive universe of not me all around me, and at the same time, I'm part of the process of constructing that not me. Every time you hit the friction with the world around you, the shape of you solidifies more and more, and the world itself responds to you.
Does it? Or is the world just stuck in a bad pattern that's repeating forever, and there's nothing any of us can do about it?
It's a pattern, but also we are the pattern. That's what's so weird about our world, and it's why it's been stuck like this for so long. We can't exist without each other.
So there's no way out.
Not until we break it.
Break it?
Break the dialectic. If we can find some way to uncouple the us from the them, if we can break the pattern, if we can learn how to make the worlds that are for us, then we might be able to get free.
But can we?
Well, I'm no quantum theorist, but if we can disentangle the twined electrons, then maybe the minor neurons, and then...
No. I mean, can we actually get free?
All right, so we normally end these things with a Q&A, and we are going to stick around to have a chat, but we have questions for you. Can we heal? Can we get free? And what is the dialectic? So we can have a chat about that now, and also there's going to be polls on our Patreon and on our Discord, so that we can continue the conversation there, and your votes on the Patreon and on the Discord are going to impact our next episode. This episode of Intrapology stars Xander Graves as T and Caitlin Magnol-Kearns as Iris, Fadumo Hassan as Hedy, and for the first time, Dee Squinkifer as Paris. Squinky does a whole bunch of other things on this project. Their company, Stop Chaos Cooperative, provide world-building support. Squinky does the majority of the software development, and they originally developed this format of live interactive theatre indie game hybrid. This episode was co-written by Sarah Davis Reynolds. Our technical director is Emily Marlowe, and our technicians are Transcend Streaming and Arlo Howard. Our art director is Jennifer Booth. Our performance consultant is Tanya Vital, and our dramaturg is Fadumo Hassan. Our BSL interpreter is Jenny Manning, and our access dramaturgs are Quiplash. Our hair and makeup consultant is Isabel Lindley, and our publicist is Abstract Publicity. All of this has been made possible by a project grant from Arts Council England and additional technology grants from Innovate UK and Creative UK. If you enjoy the show and you want to help us continue on this adventure and make more shows, you can become a member who pays us money on a regular basis. We do that through Patreon and also through our membership site, post.intrapology.com. Take your pick. If you're a member on Patreon, you get access to everything on Post. And I just want to say a huge thank you to everyone who supports us this way, whether you're a paying member or just signed up to receive updates. It means such a lot to me. This is such a big, scary project, and it often feels like and throwing pieces of myself into the void. And I am so grateful to everyone who catches them.
Hey everyone, we did it! Woo! Huge well done, everyone. I'm gonna keep an eye on the chat, and oh gosh, we have so many comments already in the rant box. That's amazing. Someone says, I think healing isn't easy, but it is inevitable. You might be scared, but you learn to live with what faculties the hurt has left you with. And there's more. I'll read more in a bit. But before we get drawn into all of that, I just want to say huge well done, everyone. Yeah, wow, I'm so happy. What did I was really pleased with the particular branches and choices that the audience went with. And we were chatting about that a little bit in the comments here in our backstage chat. Does anyone want to share something that they enjoyed about these particular branches?
I think for me, because I think also this is my real voice and I am losing it, but how Iris feels about Paris really impacts my performance in the whole episode, and it was nice to be able to play the kind of longing a bit more, because in other branches I might feel a different way, a bit colder or a bit angrier, but actually to have that kind of real heart, and I don't think it's one, because again we rehearse all these different branches, it feels like one that I haven't either done in a while or done much of, so it was like kind of nice and fresh for me as an actor, and also then to feel apprehensive instead of excited, because again I feel like we've been playing a lot with the excited, so again to revisit that was really cool, and yeah, and it was really nice to have the live rant stuff as well.
Yeah, I love that it was really tied on excited versus apprehensive, and I love the tension when like you're performing that moment of like Iris is gearing themselves up to something and we don't quite know what yet, and like they don't know where they're gonna land either. It's really satisfying when it sort of is stuck there.
Yeah. On a technical side, it's always really funny for me when we have close votes, because I'm always tempted to like let the actors know about something ahead of time. And sometimes you'll see it coming a mile off and you'll be like, oh, okay, everyone's going to go with this. But we've had shows before where people have all voted for one thing, and then at the last minute, they all switch to something else. So it's like you've literally just got to ride the tiger and like hold on for dear life, because it can change at any moment. It's really cool. It's a really interesting aspect of it from a technical side.
Yeah, I might read more from the audience feedback. We're living in the most connected time in human history. And despite fascist eugenics, racisms, ableisms, classisms, cis-heterosexisms, etc., we have never had more ability to heal and get free, while we make individual changes and demand fundamental global changes to regenerate our ecological symbiosis. Yes, we can heal. Sometimes it's simple and sometimes it's not. We're healing all the time.
Yeah, I was saying to the cast and to tech before we went live, we were sort of talking about what everyone's talking about these days and how frustrating it is. But I think there's that thing of like, that's kind of part of what this project is, at least to me, is, a brick in against a brick through a window. It's it's only a little brick, but it's a brick, and hopefully we can contribute to a kind of fight against all this kind of shit that is happening to us that we didn't really choose.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think one of the things that you can do is just not It's just to understand that the systems in place support a specific group of people, and just feeds into that, and you just as a person have to sort of educate yourself and realize that I'm not going to put more investment of my time and energy into this system, and try not to feed into white supremacy. And a lot more things are related to white supremacy than a lot of people think it does. So hence why the education bit is really important.
Yeah, and definitely don't like give in to like the idea of like, oh, what can I do? Because yeah, we can't like all be Superman and like fly around and save the day, but we can actually do things and have effect on our reality. And little things can also be big things. Even just showing up for people, I think, is really important and really helps. I know that it definitely helps us, like when audience shows up. It's definitely a different feeling when we have a good audience and when we have an interactive audience. Like that's a great thing about this project, is it's a way of, you know, reaffirming that we're connected in a way.
Yeah. On that note, there's another really interesting comment that came through that ties very directly to the things we want to explore as a show going forward. My mum's going to be so annoyed with me for using the phrase going forward. I mean, in the future, like next. Someone says, we can heal, but not if we want to get free. Healing is messy, collective, and restorative. The desire to lean into the schism, to prioritize comfort over collective care and safety, then we cannot heal if we give in to the schism. Yeah, someone should save these responses somewhere. Yeah, I'm gonna.
I've got them.
You've got them. Thanks, Wiggles. By the way, I don't acknowledge Wiggles in the credits. Yeah. My friend here supports me when we are doing you wanna come wave? Hey. My oldest friend. Although we didn't like each other when we were 5. But we didn't know each other then. Comes and supports me whenever we are doing something stressful that I might need help with. Yeah. I can read another comment.
Do we have any questions? Does anyone have any questions, either for the cast or for Tech or for Zoe? Feel free to pop them in YouTube, or you can just pop them in the rant box if you are on the website.
Yeah, it looks like everyone's responding on the website, which is great.
Yes, that's what we want.
Yeah. I also just want to make sure I give another shout out to Sarah Davis Reynolds, who co-wrote this episode. I am so happy with all the work that she did with this. Like, I reached out and looked for a guest co-writer with Faduma's encouragement, because there was something that there was this like emotional core to the episode that and you would require a skilled hand, and I feel like we really got that. So someone, I can't imagine who, asks, who was that sexy voiceover?
I know who wrote
that. The sexy voiceover was Amelia from Quiplash, who yeah, brought their guidance and wisdom as well as their sexy voice to the show. I also want to acknowledge I made an error in some video editing, and I accidentally got rid of our audio description right at the beginning, so apologies to anyone who was affected by that. I'll read another comment. I'm not sure if it's healing or just learning to adapt to the changes in the world. I got older and deeply sadder and deeply more content at the same time.
Mm. I'm getting very beat poetry vibes, which is really interesting when you mesh it with the I was getting from the last third of the play, it really gives me philosophy, second year course, consciousness of the mind. Like it's very, what am I? Who am I? Very that. So yeah, beat poetry is just right in there with that. Oh,
Yeah.
there's a question. We've got, what is it like for all the actors to learn all the different branches and other aspects of doing this kind of non-linear show? Good question. Who wants to go first?
So it can be challenging, obviously, like, we don't really learn the lines, but we go through it a lot, and I like knowing them best I can in case anything does go wrong, because sometimes, like, the lines can just disappear, so, like, knowing them back of your head does help, but because there's so many choices, so many different ways this could go, I think, was it the first episode, there was, like, 10,000 words in the script or something, and it's like, yeah, there's no way we can learn all that in time. So we do have a little prompt that we follow along, which adds to the challenge because we're kind of like reading our lines and then like performing and stuff as well. But it's a lot of fun. Like it's so different to anything I've ever done before. So yeah.
Okay, I'll go. So for me, like, I've been a game designer, I guess, like much longer than I've been an actor. Um, like, yeah, I kind of like did a lot of like theater when I was a kid, and then like kind of came back to it in my 30s, like after transitioning. So this was like. And this is like a project I'm already like kind of like involved with in a technical way. So I like decided to see if I could like act in it also. And it's just been like a lovely experience to be like working with all the other actors and like and Tanya and all these like yeah, like I love working with theater people. It's like very different in many ways from working with games people, and I'm quite enjoying it.
It is super different to working with games people. It's difficult to sum up quickly, like how, but there are very different ways of relating. I remember noticing very quickly when I started doing theatre things, that like within theatre, like you get there's different ways of relating based on someone's subdiscipline within theatre as well. Like, and it shouldn't be surprising because like the core of theatre is people interacting with each other. Like even, traditional theatre, it's humans like forming a connection with other humans and telling a story through how they act together. So it shouldn't be surprising that hanging out with actors is like fascinating and like extremely fluid and exciting. But yeah, very, very different to like hanging out with writers and hanging out with game designers is different again. Yeah.
I was gonna say for me as a so I'm primarily housebound, and whenever Zoe was casting this, they wanted to cast someone who maybe wouldn't have access to performing. So I've been like primarily housebound for like over 5 years now, and I used to perform, and I'm now like more of a writer because that's what's been accessible to me. So it's been really cool to do something like this. Where kind of leans almost it's kind of theater meets I watch a lot of like Twitch and streaming, and so like yeah, it's really cool and really validating for me as a performer. And it's something I didn't think I'd kind of be able to do in this kind of capacity. So yeah, that's been really rewarding, and also just to like so people know, I'm sure you can pick up, but we're all over the world in terms of the cast and the tech crew, and I think that's really cool as well, and just proves that you can, I don't know, make really cool, exciting art, and you don't have to be in a physical space to do that. So yeah.
Yeah, I feel really like I've been reflecting more and more on how much I care about the internet as a space of possibility where you can do interesting creative things. And I think for a lot of people, even creative people, it's become a chore. Like it's become a bureaucratic obligation to like put things on the internet. And I really want to reclaim the joy and make it like into this like unpredictable creative space again. Yeah. Someone asks, will this be recorded and available for folks to watch on YouTube or elsewhere? Yes. It's it's being recorded, and you'll be able to watch back the stream itself on YouTube immediately. And we've also recorded a version of it with the version that you see on the web page with the interface. So we'll be editing that and putting it up first on our Patreon and PeerTube, and then at some point it'll go on YouTube as well. When I've learned how to be a good YouTube content person. And I know what's the most strategic way to put these things out onto that particular platform. Did you do all the transcription and ASL videos for all branches beforehand, like a video game? Can you share more about the process and challenges of production? Oh, and also someone asked when's the next episode. I'll answer that quickly before I lose people when I get into the technicalities. Our next episode is on the 20th of July. I've got that right, haven't I? It's the 20th. Yeah, cool. Yeah, please join us for the next one. Yeah, it's gonna be a fun one, like getting set up for like the big finale. Gonna unpack a lot of stuff and get ready for some action. So did we do all the transcription and videos for all the branches beforehand? So for the most part, the videos are a unifying thing. So the story branches a bit more kind of within the scene before the video, and then it comes back together. And for the most part, the video is the same no matter what. The big exception here was we included in Paris's video the voiceover of Iris reacting to it. And so you got one of two versions of that video, depending on which of the choices won regarding how Iris is going to react to this. Yeah, we spent quite a bit of time sort of working out how we were going to do that as a team backstage, because the video isn't directly affected by the software that manages the script. That was humans having to communicate with each other about where we are and what we're going to do next. And Leanna handled that perfectly. Thank you, Leanna, from Transcend Streaming. But yeah, mostly the videos stay the same regardless of the choices. The transcription, I think if that refers to like the captions at the bottom, that's generated by the same software that is showing the actors what they're going to say. So at the same time that it's telling the actors what they're going to say, it's telling the audience what the actors are saying. So it's fairly simple because it's a job we're already doing, right? And then the ASL videos or the BSL videos are that's live. Jenny is who is interpreting now is interpreting live during the performance. Yeah. I would love to share more about the process and challenges of production. It's a lot, though. There's a lot of challenges, and the process is.
I feel like that needs like a behind the scenes documentary kind of video of its own.
So I will say that actually next weekend, Zoyander and I are giving a talk at the Narroscope conference. There's still time to get tickets for that online. So if you and I think there might also be like video recordings appearing about it as well. But yeah, we are going to like basically be using the intrinsic software like in our talk so people can like select from different options and write in Q&A questions in the rant box. So it'll kind of be this self-demonstrating talk about the production.
Oh, Liana offers to show the episode 3 narrative map on screen. That'd be cool. Yes, let's do that. But yeah, agree, Squinky. I'm looking forward to presenting about this at Narrowscope. I have the fun task of writing the bit of the presentation that's about the design challenges. So I'm finding ways to write in write in intentionally bad design so people can see what the impact is. Like going, right, so let's say the question and the branch point and the various options happen at the same time as they would in a normal narrative-focused video game. This is how long the awkward pause is. Like, this is what happens if you don't think about, like, queuing up a question well beforehand. All right, so that's our story map on screen. So I think for a lot of games people, this will be a remarkably simple story map. Another thing that isn't necessarily represented on the map is you can see bits where it says state vulnerable or state haughty or framing losing touch, that kind of thing. Those are variables that carry through all the way to the end. So like in the in that conversation between Iris and Paris, although it looks like it's just a linear thing, or everything that happened above is feeding into it. And so that conversation goes very differently depending on all those choices that happened earlier on. But it's not branching, it's just there are certain things that can happen if a certain condition has been met earlier. And I got so excited watching that scene, and like it was a version of the scene that I haven't seen rehearsed all that often. And so yeah, it felt really fresh and like it really hit emotionally because it was new and because you understand that it's happening that way because the audience are participating in Iris's emotions in a particular way. Yeah, that made me really, really happy. Yeah. Is there anything else? Should we wrap up? It looked very fluid and natural, despite the fact that people are in different parts of the world. Very well done. This was just amazing. The collaborative aspect made it feel much more personal and engaging, and I would love to see more. Thanks very much to whoever said that. Someone said there isn't another show that hits in the way this one does. That's going to be our what's the term? That's going to be our pull quote now everywhere.
Yeah,
That's
put that
amazing.
on the poster.
Yeah, yeah.
Someone's also asked if they can sign up to act.
Ooh, interesting. So we don't have anything open right now, but I want to capture your enthusiasm. Can you just email contact@intrapology.com so that like we can reach out to you next time we're casting? Because that's wonderful that you want to do that.
Oh, thank you very much for that comment. Oh, thank you on the technical aspects as well. Someone's just said this was by far one of your shows that I've seen so far. Story and especially how smooth the technical aspects were.
Yeah.
Yes.
So well done, Emily, as technical director, and huge thanks to Transcend Streaming. Like, oh my.
Yep. All the thanks to our amazing tech crew and to our moderator Arlo for keeping the script up for our actors. But big props to Liana for being a complete magician.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, I feel so lucky that we found each other. I hope we can keep working together.
Yeah, everyone's just spamming the chat now. It's all just love. Happy days.
All right. We could wrap up there, I think, right? Yeah. Thanks so much, everyone. Huge well done. And yeah, support us on Patreon. Or on our members site, post.intrapology.com. Which sorry, I just revealed I faked Liana out. Sorry about that. I remembered that we need to do a call to action. So like now I'm back and I'm saying please support us on Patreon or on our members site. Intrapology.com has the links for where to do that.
Yay!
Amazing. Well done.
Smooth, so smooth.
Hey, and Arlo sent us to the place where the buttons are. That's amazing. Thanks so much, Arlo. All right. Big wave bye. It's finally over.